This time we're doing the Wolfman, the 1941 version, starring Lon Chaney Jr. As always, I'm your host Daniel, with my father and co-host Jerry. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
Um, I don't know about you, but this is my first time actually seeing this movie. I've obviously seen clips of it over years. I know the story. It's a fairly common story on werewolves and stuff. This was obviously also the second movie we saw at the Halloween feature at the drive-in. We'll talk about the first and third later. But I guess we should get right into it. I was gonna say, well, have you seen this movie before?
No, I haven't.
Ah, okay. I was wondering that. Honestly, like I think this movie did a lot of stuff really well, even by today's standards.
Hmm.
I thought like the a lot of the atmosphere and the music in the movie was really well done.
Hmm.
I thought the acting was pretty great, especially from the main character, Lon Chaney.
Yeah.
Uh, and I liked how the story was very much written as more of a tragedy than a horror story,
Yes.
uh, similar to The Fly, the 1980s one. And you can see some of the influence on that. Um, uh, obviously, obviously, this was one of the first, probably. Well, I don't want to say first, but the big Universal horror films of the time, which they tried to reboot unsuccessfully, I might add, recently. With
The actually there was a Werewolf of London that
hmm
was shot in 1935, 6 years before this,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and that was Universal's first one.
That's interesting.
But this was their first really successful one.
That's interesting.
Yes.
And I'll say this: it's not hard to see why it would be successful, especially at the time period. I mean, like I said, it's really well shot. It's fairly well written. It has good music,
Yeah.
and well, the special effects, I'm sure. Well, some of them I'm sure were really good for the time, uh, like his wolf costume and whatnot. Obviously, nothing compared to today. But some of them I thought were kind of bad even for then, like how they talked about they had the pentagram appear on them and it literally looks like somebody just drew it on them with a pen.
Yeah.
Like that was something I didn't. Uh, I felt like I mean you could have literally taken like a paintbrush and painted it on something that would look better.
Hmm.
Um, I that was just one of the things that baffled me every time it came up.
Yeah. Now
Again, yeah.
they did spend a lot of time on the transformation from him to the Wolfman.
Yeah, you kind of figure that because it also shows up only in the last maybe 10 minutes of a 70-some minute film.
Yeah.
But and I'll say this, like, for what they do and how they have him transform, it's actually pretty brilliant for their technology time, with more of a time elapsed photo of what I'm sure is them putting on the makeup on his feet.
Yeah. And actually, Cheney complained a lot about that. He
Yeah.
claimed he had to set for hours
hmm
while, they took one picture and then
hmm
did some work and took the next picture and did some work.
Yeah.
Uh, they had, I guess it was a rubber boot with yak hair that they, when they did the feet,
hmm
they kept pulling out.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, that's I know like you hear like they take hours and hours in makeup, which is why a lot of times in movies it'll be on like the people will wear like gloves and stuff to conceal that,
Yeah.
just to simply because it saves a lot of time and money for the actors and the set production. Um, but yeah, no, I don't think the Wolfman costume really looks that bad. It actually looks like the people that have the
Yeah.
wolf disease. I don't actually know what it's called, but the hairy thing
Yeah.
in it. They do a good job at showing it mostly from a distance.
Mhm.
Uh, it works well with the backgrounds they have in it.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but like I said, one of the things I like the most about the movie is that it more focused on kind of the tragedy of having the disease,
Mhm.
lycanthropy or I believe is what they call it, and what it's called, than anything else. Because it like they obviously it starts off with the Gypsy Band and Bela Lugosi having it,
Yeah.
and the Lon Chaney stops him as a wolf. Well, he doesn't stop him, but he tries to save a person. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of tragedy there that I mean, he goes and he does the right thing, but he still ends up like this, and he tries to fight it, but he can't.
Yeah.
And he's kind of terrified of what he became.
Yes.
Um, and I think that works really well. In fact, I wish they would have focused and had a lot more time on that because I didn't think the romance worked that well in this movie, and it just seemed somewhat unnecessary.
Yes.
Um,
But it was a movie for the time
yeah,
too.
and like some of that stuff I can't blame. Though I still think like I realize like modern times and stuff. I still think looking at a person through a telescope at any time is creepy as hell. Uh,
Yes.
um, and
They
not
certainly did.
charming.
They certainly didn't make it less creepy in the whole movie when they
No,
talk.
no, when he talks. But other than that, I thought he was pretty charming with her, and it worked. I didn't think they had bad chemistry or anything. I just, uh, I'm not sure if like that's something that's always been creepy though.
Yeah.
It's just
The
always weird to look in a window at a person and
one of
illegal.
yeah one of the things about the movie I thought was
Hmm.
that you know they didn't develop it up enough, but they did it, and they only had about 70 minutes or so, half as long as what we usually run in a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I think even ones like The Fly and stuff that are obviously have a lot of similar themes is I think that one's about 96 minutes.
yeah,
I should say the remake of The Fly. I don't know about the original one, but uh, I'm sure this was influential on both of them.
yeah,
But mhm. No,
yeah.
but oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The I think they did a great job, considering this movie is about 80 years old.
Hmm.
It was right at the beginning of movie making,
Yeah, it's
and I mean it's almost unimaginable how they did the special effects.
yeah.
I mean, and the time that it had to take to do each
Mhm.
scene once.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the sets in the movie look really good.
Yes,
The sets in the movie, like they're clearly are very they're gothic inspired. The the woods nature, I feel like it was intended to be somewhat surreal. It has just the right amount of fog in it. Um,
yeah,
they do all that. Like I said, my real only complaint, like with the actual special effects, was the little pentagram star that like appeared on
yeah,
his chest and stuff. Because I was like, did you just like draw that with a pen?
yeah.
You could have literally. I mean, it didn't even seem like it was symmetric. um, I just found that strange because everything else I thought they did a really good job at. Um, mhm.
Hmm. The yes, the now they made several sequels of it, which Cheney played in.
Yeah,
I think they made about four.
yeah. I know they made that. I think he like met Frankenstein. I don't know if he was in the. Oh, but
Frankenstein meets Wolfman,
yeah.
House of Frankenstein, House of Dracula,
Hmm.
and then one of the Abbott Costello.
Yeah, I knew they had some crossover between them. Obviously, not necessarily in this same movie's continuity since he dies at the end in this one.
Yeah,
Um, but oh yeah, one of the other things I found kind of weird is that like uh the one guy that gives him the curse fully transforms into a wolf. He doesn't. That's kind of whatever. You could say it as it time went on, he became more and more wolf-like, or
yeah,
they never really explained that. But they have him get bit in the chest uh by the wolf, which makes
yeah,
no sense.
yeah.
Like I mean, I realize like one of the reasons you see dogs grab people at the arms all the time in movies is because of that's how they're trained to take the people down.
Yeah.
but it's really hard to bite somebody on the chest. Like it's
Yeah.
not like on the side of the chest or something. It's like dead center,
Hmm.
and they never really show the wound, but they kind of show where that weird pentagram star is. Uh, um, like I said, I honestly think one of the biggest issues with this movie is that it should have been longer,
Yeah.
so that way you can kind of develop the tragedy of this more, and develop Lon Chaney's character a bit more. And not to say they don't do that anything. Not to say they don't do that, do it well for what time they have. It's just it feels a bit short.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I mean, obviously, again, this is one of the first. Well, it's not one of the first movies, but uh, it's still very new at the time with the special effects. Uh, and who knows? It might have just not worked as well.
Yeah.
There's uh, but and I mean, you can also still see how this movie, how the visual effect, how like the forests and stuff has influenced other movies and stuff now.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking back, I know we talked about like Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow and stuff on here, and
Yeah.
you can kind of see how the woods in that is similar to the woods in this, in
Hmm.
its design of it. And you do like legitimately feel for the characters in this movie,
Yes.
because he obviously doesn't want to. And I think that's again a testament to how well written it is,
Yeah.
and well shot it is.
Hmm. Well, I think it starts off, it starts off with where he has a new romance. He just meets this girl, and as you said,
Yeah.
sees her in the telescope, and
Hmm.
really wants to meet her, and then all this happens.
Yeah. And it doesn't. And it's not like in the movie it doesn't happen to him because he does anything wrong.
Right.
He and throughout the movie, I think he for the most part tries to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Uh, but it just, I mean, he obviously goes to try to save somebody, and is when he gets inflicted with the curse.
Yeah.
Uh, and he just happens to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Uh, and I think they do play on that pretty well. Of that he's,
Yes.
I mean, he's as scared for himself as he is for the other people. He again clearly doesn't want to hurt anybody, doesn't want to cause anybody pain.
Yeah.
Uh,
And he lets the people know that
yeah,
he has the thing.
yeah. Uh, mhm.
He starts off a little bit by trying to cover it up, but then he realizes he has to let them know.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know what exactly happened to him at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and he's trying to, and you have the other people trying to help him out. Well, you have the like gypsy woman who knows what's going on and
Yeah.
uh, says that. But no, like I said, I think it works in the movies. It helps it out a lot that the movie itself is very much based as a tragedy,
Yes.
rather than anything else,
Hmm.
and it works for the characters involved in it, and it's a much better movie because of it.
Yes.
I mean, I still think it holds up relatively well, and I for one was entertained throughout the entirety of the movie.
Yes.
In it. I mean, I'd probably recommend going to go see it,
Hmm.
or checking it out sometime. Especially if it's like what we did, and it was one of like there were 6 movies, and we saw 3 of them that night. We just got tired and went home.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it
Hmm.
quite a bit. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with this one?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, in that case, then if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on Twitch, remember to subscribe. Thank you all, and have a good night.